Hello, friends, and a warm welcome. I'm so excited to share with you my freebie for you for this season. Aren't these adorable? Look at them. And they are very easy to make. So I will get into that all in this video. And then we're also going to go over our signatures for our Christmas journal. So stay tuned. All right, I'm so glad you are joining me here for another little craft session. And I hope you had maybe some time to get a start on cutting all the fuzzy cuts out. Again, feel free also to use your brother Scan and Cut or Cricut, whatever helps you with your fuzzy cuts. So I made a start on the fuzzy cuts, and I will continue to cut also my pockets out, which are coming up as well. So if you want to follow me along and complete your journal with me together, and you want to follow along how I have my signatures laid out, um, let's do this first, and then I will share with you how to put your Christmas gift boxes together that are freebie that I have made for you here. I like to have 4 signatures in my journal. They seem to fit well with a 2-inch spine. So this is how I like to do mine. And so this is what I usually do. I print out all of the journal pages from the PDF files that you will get with this kit. Then I usually flip them around and I print all the background pages on the back sides of them. And then next, what I will do is I print out all of the lined pages because I like to write in my journals. And then I do the same thing with my lined pages. I print the background pages on all of the lined pages. I simply run them through, and that makes sure that all of the pages are printed on. So in the first signature here, if you want to line them up the same way, so we can all journal together and get the entire journal made together. So you want to maybe organize them in a similar fashion. So the next step that I do is when I have a stack of the journal pages and a stack of the line pages, I simply alternate them. So I have a journal page and a line page and a journal page and a line page, or in this case, a blank page here, journal page. And so that will allow me to just have a nice variation in here. And then what I do next is I simply alternate them. So if it turns out that after I alternated them, that maybe the next page here would be a line page, I organize them so that a journal page is in the first page of my signature. So when we put the signatures together like so, that it's always has a nice image, like in the first page. So this is how I organize them usually. So let's follow along. And again, you can pause the video too as you organize your pages or as you get everything ready. So you can go back and visit the video again so that you can organize everything the same way. Or of course, you can use a different kit, or you can organize it in any which way that you like. This is for those who would like to just follow along and finish the journal, because I used to have a lot of unfinished journals laying around, and then another journal kit would come along and I would just start the next one. And so my goal is to, in this video series, to help you finish your journals so that you, within a short period of time, you have your journals finished and you can move on to the next one. So in this first signature, we have the beautiful manor. And then we have this line page with a Christmas tree. And then we have this couple here with the carriage. And the guests are arriving. And as you can see here also on the back side, these are the pages. This is the back side of this. I kind of love this kind of background page a lot. You can, of course, have different background pages, and here the guests are entering the manor. They can see the beautiful Christmas tree. And then we have this background page here. So this is the first signature. All in all, I have about 5 pages per signature. But these pages will get fairly thick after we're done decorating them all. So this is the second signature, and I'd like to follow loosely the storyline that I have that inspired this journal kit. So the next signature here has the sitting area and the dining area for the Christmas dinner. And then we have this background page here. We have the lined kit with the Christmas ornaments. We have this background page. And then this is the next lined page here with the beautiful decorations here. Poinsettias. Poinsettias are my favorite. And then we have this big background page. You know, the guests gathering around the Christmas trees and the fireplaces. And then we have this one here. I promise there are more background pages coming that are different. Then we have here a blank journaling page with the poinsettias and the Christmas ornaments here. So you can differentiate it this way. And here, this is my little mini project here that I've printed in the back, which is always fun and inspiring as well. And that completes the second signature. And the third signature, we have the Christmas ball and the little snack area for those who are dancing. And here we have the background page with the little gingerbread cookies, gingerbread men, Christmas trees. And you can see I have here a little ink stain from my printer. And I choose to incorporate that in my journal kits. Mistakes for me are inspiration. And so I have to challenge my thinking a little bit, my creative thinking, and figure out how I can decorate this part specifically so that it's covered, or how to fix a mistake. For me, mistakes are actually a welcomed addition to creative journaling, really. So here we have another blank page, and I love that I have quite a few of those blank pages because they are so wonderful for decorating and for putting any specific little projects on them. So this is the next page. And in the back, we have one of the back pages too. That's the larger page of that theme here. And we have here a little blank space for more decoration, of course. And the next page here is the winter walk page, where the guests and everybody is going for a little stroll in the beautiful town and winter landscape. And in the back here, we have the little pine branches with the pine needles, which is also beautiful. And then we have another blank project page. Let's call these project pages. The little poinsettias here. And in the back, another pine branch. And by the time we're done decorating everything will look different. And sometimes it just works out that way when I alternate the pages, that they repeat themselves. But it's okay. I have no problem with that, really. More of the guests having a Christmas walk. And then we have in the back here the deer, the reindeer, and the trees. And that completes the signature number 3. That's the third signature. This is the last signature, number 4. And here we have the Christmas tea, the afternoon tea or coffee after the Christmas walk. And you come back in the warmth and you can warm up with a nice cup of tea or coffee or hot chocolate. And then we have here a little mini ornament here on the wall. And in the back, we have this background page again. Some lined journal pages where you can do some journaling on, some writing. And it's really nice to use these maybe as memory keepers really for this Christmas season. When you have your Christmas gatherings, maybe something funny happened or something lovely happened or a surprise happened. You never know what the Christmas season can bring. It's just a wonderful time for family and friends. And then here in the back, we have, of course, more of the reindeers and the trees. Another little project page. And on the back here are, again, the gingerbread cookies and gingerbread men. And then you have the Christmas stockings and the gifts. And we can open the gifts here. And in the back, I have the lacy back detail here. More neutral pages. I love having plenty of neutral background pages so that we have a nice workspace for all of our creative projects that we are going to add in there, of course. And here we have some lined pages. And this is the background page with the very delicate snowflakes. Very subtle again, so that you have plenty of creative space. And this is one of the blank project pages with the little Christmas trees. And in the back, we have the gingerbread cookies, let's say. So this is the 4th signature here. Let me put them all together here. I like to keep them together with a little paper clip. So depending on your preference, of course, you can choose to ink the edges of these pages. I like to at least do a very thin coat of ink so that the pages look finished and it looks a little bit more professional. Or you can make a thicker frame, of course, of ink. It all depends on what you prefer. For this journal project, I used the Tim Holtz Distress Oxide in the color Vintage Photo. And so this is what I use for that. So these are the signatures. So you still have time to print them out and organize them. If you like to follow along, organize them the same way I have, so that we can then go on to our journaling projects. And so now we are coming to our freebie. Oh, and before I forget, again, this is how I keep things organized. So I have these plastic containers here that keep them nice and neat. And I simply put them together like so. And also the ephemera or the fuzzy cuts are here organized this way in these little containers. So for this freebie that I have created for you, it's probably useful to have a scoreboard. If not, you can take a ruler and a bone folder and try to go along at least so it makes it easier to fold. So let's look again at the finished product here. So these are little gift boxes that you can use for if you are gifting maybe jewelry or, like little gift cards that you want to add in. And this is what it looks on the inside. And I have printed one of the background pages from our Christmas at the Manor journaling kit, the lacy one. I printed that in the back so that it looks really finished. And there are quite a few options that I have put together for you, and I really hope that you like them. So these are just some variations, but the combinations are endless. It's stuck there. So these are these are some of the variations. So again, you can see here the 3D way I have arranged for these. And let's look at all of the color options that will come with your freebie. So the first one is the gold background that you have in the journaling kit as well. And as you can see again, so here I have placed the lacy background from the journaling kit on the back. You can of course use any background page that you like. All right, so we have yellow, the yellow gold. We have like a muted design here and more muted colors. And then we have the gingerbread cookies here. And then we have also the reindeer. So if by any chance you are gifting the Christmas at the Manor journaling kit or the Christmas at the Manor journal, the finished journal, and then you can accompany it with any of these boxes, that is a really nice cohesive look for gifting if this is something that you like to do on Christmas. Here we have a poinsettia design here. And I have also I found a beautiful purple design if this is your favorite color, and a blue design. They just look so rich and vibrant, really. I love the contrast for that. And we have one of the other poinsettia designs. And here you can see the stars that you will need for these gift box toppers, let's say. And that's a very important one to have. So if you like to do the star one, you can print these out. Then we have the Christmas trees. You can print these out. And you have the Christmas bells if you like these more. And then if you'd rather just have 3 made, you can have that. So if you'd rather just print out 3 of these options and have just 3 made, I included a page like that as well, of course, for you. So I hope you enjoy these colors and designs for your little gift boxes. I think they are also perhaps a nice Christmas ornament if you want to stick one in your tree or a couple of them. So or put them under the tree as well. If you have these little mini table trees, you can put them under the trees as well as a little decoration. So if you want to stack them under a tree or put them in a larger tree, they look so pretty and they really come out really nicely. All right, so these are the colors. Again, plenty to choose from. Whatever is your heart's desire. And plenty of options for the topper of the gift box. So are you ready to put them together? They are really, really easy to do. So first you want to cut them out. And what is important to remember when you cut them out, that you make 2 cuts here where this little latch is. This little latch will close the box properly. Yeah. And also when you cut out these boxes, make sure to cut the little slit here. Let's see. Make sure you cut the little slit out here. Maybe you can see that here. So I already went ahead on the scoreboard and scored the lines. So you see these little dotted lines here that go all the way through, and here and here and here and here where the folds are. So on your scoreboard, so when you score these lines, you would score down this line. You would score down this line. You would score down this line. And you score down this line. And you go along all of the folds here and here and here. Beautiful. All right. Now that everything is scored, I like to ink the edges. So for this one, I like to use the Tim Holtz Vintage Photo. It goes really well with these colors. It really looks more professional when these edges are inked. And I like to ink also the slit here, because you can really see that one. And then when I ink these edges here, I like to lift up these flaps. I'm more of a fan of thinner ink lines, but if you like thicker lines, then it might not matter as much. But I noticed if I don't pay attention, the back or the inside of the box is really kind of getting thick, but it depends all on the look that you are going for. So really pay attention to how it will look on the inside, and depending on the look that you prefer, you can make it thicker or thinner. Okay. So where the flaps are really close together, I like to fold them up a little. So that way the ink lines are clean. All right. And now we have all of the edges inked. And here's a little tip for when you experience that these ink pads get dry quickly. I like to store them upside down. And that allows for the ink to remain on the top of the ink pad. And they don't leak. You can simply store them upside down. So that way they're always fresh and you have plenty of ink on the top of the ink pad. Before I forget, so when you cut this little slit here, I used a craft knife and a ruler to simply cut that out easily. All right. So I'm using my bone folder here to fold these properly together. So I turn this around, and as you can see, the score lines here, simply fold everything up here. Make sure everything is straight and crease the edges. Even that little flap, I like to make sure this little flap is also creased properly. And we have this here. This is a very important piece too. Okay. So how are you all doing? I hope you are enjoying this early Christmas season already. It's my favorite season of the year. So now, put everything back. And now it's time for these lines here. The sides of the Christmas box. I like to have a nice sharp corner here. If you like them a little bit more rounded, you can try and see how that works out for you. It's easier to fold together at the end of the day. All right, so now we are ready to glue, and make sure to put everything back out. Yeah, and then we'll put a little bit of glue here. So I'm using the Barely Art glue, and I put it in this refillable bottle, and I put Bear on it, so I remember what it is. But the Barely Art glue is the glue that I find works really well for paper art. It doesn't warp the paper. It doesn't smell. I am very sensitive to the glue smell, and this is really easy to use, and it doesn't give me any problems. So now comes the critical part, where you want to be able to really hold it together. So pay attention where the folds are and line it up properly. And with your middle finger and your thumb, keep these pressed together and try to get inside a little bit to press down the entire flap here that you have with this box. And the nice thing about this glue is too, it dries fairly quickly. You have a little wiggle room for a moment, but it does dry quickly. So I like to let this sit for a brief moment and move on to the topper. So now it's time to decide which kind of topper we are going to use. Is it the bell, or is it the Christmas tree? The bell? I think the bell. In this case, perhaps star. Oh my goodness, they all look so pretty. I'm gonna go with the star. So you need 4 of these. And then you can either, again, use the scoreboard to fold them. But you don't have to. So I like to use the scoreboard to fold these. And I simply put them down here and score down the middle. Down the center from the top of the star to this center part. Okay. That makes the folding a lot easier with these small pieces. All right. And now we are going to glue them together. So when we fold them, it's important, even though we have scored them, to line up the edges of the star. So let's do that first. Let's line up the edges here. Make sure they all line up properly here and here, here. And this tip here. Beautiful. So let's begin to glue them. And for small pieces like this, I like to use my tweezers to hold the pieces. That makes it a little bit easier. So only put glue on one side here. Then you take the next side here, and only half of the star goes on top of the other half of the other star. Make sure to line up the edges from top to bottom. It's really important to pay attention to the top and the bottom, especially this very, very tiny pointy part here. All right. And then the next one again, only half of the edges here. We'll get the glue. Only this half goes on this half. Again, make sure to line up the edges, especially the top part, the pointy top part. And last one. Now we put the last one on here. So again, only half of this star will have glue on. Very important. Line up the edges. Pointy part also. All right. So now this has time to dry. Okay. So we are going to set this down here. And here is now the important part for this box, the bottom part. And yes, there are very elaborate ways of gluing this together. I came up with the simplest and easiest way of folding this. If you have a more elaborate way of folding these together, by all means go for it. But I like it to be simple. So all I do is I put these two ends in first, and then I fold these two ends together like so, and I let these outer parts here and here hug this flap here. And then what I do is simply go with my glue and put glue where I can reach with this nozzle here. It's good to have a fine tip nozzle for this particular way of gluing. And you want to be fairly quick with this. Make sure that you can have enough glue on everything. And then I like to flip this box over, fold it open, and go with my bone folder in to make sure that everything is stuck together. And if you feel like you want to add a little bit more glue, maybe on the inside here, on the inside flap, you can do that quickly. Okay. All right. There we go. So, all right. So this box here is finished. And so you simply close it like so. And then you can put the flap in. All right. So this box is finished. And if you see any other openings here, I see this one is a little loose. I just go in afterwards, and so I put that in here as glue. It has worked for me, and it's fast and easy. So now let's move on to our topper here. Our star had time to dry. And I like to also ink the edges here so it looks nice and finished, especially when you can see a little bit of white on the outline here. You want to make sure that this is all nicely covered and it looks nice and finished this way. So I ink all around the edges here. Also, the bottom is important to ink on the bottom because you can see that. You can see all the sides pretty much on this. So make sure to ink it so it looks really complete and finished and nice. And especially where any little white is showing. Here. Now remember, there is still one side open here, which is important. This is where we attach the topper to the box. So look at the front. This is the front part of the box. And so now we are going to glue I'm going to put glue on both sides this time. Both sides. And then it is time to... So I like to hold it like so. It allows me to center it. And then we'll just push down very gently. We don't want to break the box. And this is all printed, of course, on cardstock to make sure that it holds up properly. And there you have your Christmas box. Now, what you can do as well is to add perhaps one of the other fuzzy cuts. For example, here a little tree. You can put a little tree here. This tree is a little bit too long, maybe for the flap. That's you want to put it maybe like this, or you can also choose any of the other fuzzy cuts from the Christmas kit here. So you can use some of these fuzzy cuts, perhaps, if you like, to add to this kit. All right, so I think I'm going to use this little tree here and this little holly branch. So again, a little bit of ink to define the edges a little bit and to make it look more finished. Okay, so we have this one and the tree, little tree here. So these are the fuzzy cuts from the Christmas at the Manor kit. And it's all linked below, of course, as well as your freebie is linked below. So let's put a little loop here. And a little holly leaf with the holly berries. Okay. There we go. So you can decorate these boxes, of course, in different ways. And you see how easy that is? It's so easy. And I really hope that you have a lot of fun with these and you can simply have all these different variations, different color variations, different topper variations. And that way you are ready for Christmas. How pretty are these? Enjoy! So now we will continue in our next video with our Christmas journal. So you can find the freebie linked below this video. Simply add it to your cart. There is zero price on it because it's free, of course. And then you're able to download this kit for the freebies and have a really beautiful way of packaging your little gifts or decorating your trees. In our next video, we will be decorating our beautiful signatures. So now is a good time to finish cutting out the fuss cuts and the pockets and everything so that you are ready to decorate everything. Also, if you have any lace that you would like to add, any other little bits and pieces that you usually use to decorate your journals, simply gather everything up so that we are ready to get going with decorating our pages. So I like to decorate the pages first because sometimes as I decorate them, I like to rearrange them, or if there's a little oopsie happening, I can replace it easily. So, and then I will sew them in. So this is my preferred way of doing journals, which is also easier for you to see how I do it, to demonstrate them. But of course, if you prefer to sew in your signatures first, you can do so as well. So in next week's video, we will be starting to decorate the beautiful signatures with all the beautiful pockets and fuzzy cuts that we have in our journal kit. And it's a good idea now to gather any pieces of lace, any decorations, ribbons, any other things that you usually use to decorate your journals. Now is a good time. Get everything ready, your fuzzy cuts, your pockets, your decorations, and then we get started in our next video with decorating the signatures for your Christmas at the Manor journal. Well, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for hanging out with me here. It was a lot of fun putting together these little Christmas gift boxes, and I'll see you all in the next video. Much love. Bye.